The African rats who save lives, tiny heroes with big whiskers. Let's be honest. When most of us think of rats, we think of trouble. We picture sneaky creatures scurrying across the floor, stealing crumbs, and making us jump onto chairs. But somewhere in Africa, a group of extraordinary rats is quietly rewriting their species' reputation. These are not your average city rats. They are the HeroRATs, African giant pouched rats who save human lives every single day. Yes, you read that right. Rats, those little whiskered, banana-loving creatures, are out there, doing heroic deeds in some of the most dangerous places on Earth. From nuisance to national hero. Our story begins in Tanzania, where a Belgian non-profit organization called Apopo decided to give rats a chance to prove themselves. Instead of catching cheese thieves, these scientists decided to train rats to catch something far deadlier: landmines. Landmines are deadly leftovers from wars. They hide underground for decades, waiting to explode when someone steps on them. In countries like Cambodia, Mozambique, and Angola, these hidden killers make everyday life a gamble. People can't safely farm, walk, or even play soccer without risking their lives. Clearing landmines is slow, dangerous work. But then came a surprising ally: the African giant pouched rat. Now, this species is not your everyday pet store rodent. It's about the size of a small cat, with long whiskers, shiny black eyes, and a pouch in its cheeks large enough to store half a banana. They can weigh over a kilogram, but that's still light enough not to trigger landmines when they step on them. Meet Magawa, the superstar sniffer. Among all the HeroRATs, one name shines brightest: Magawa. Bred in Tanzania, Magawa trained for nearly a year before moving to Cambodia to begin his career as a landmine detector. Once on the job, he didn't just meet expectations. He blew them away figuratively, thank goodness. In a 5-year career, Magawa sniffed out over 100 landmines and explosives, clearing more than 141,000 square meters of land. That's about 20 football fields. To put that into perspective, if Magawa were a human employee, he'd be the one who finishes everyone's work before lunch and still has time for a nap. His incredible achievements earned him the PDSA Gold Medal, often called the George Cross for animals. He was the first rat in history to receive this honor. When reporters came to photograph him, Magawa seemed completely unfazed by his fame. Just another day at the office, followed by a well-earned snack of bananas and peanuts. Though Magawa retired and later passed away, the work continues. A HeroRAT named Ronin has since surpassed Magawa's detection record, locating 109 landmines and 15 additional explosive devices. Proof that the legacy of these life-saving rats is very much alive. When Magawa passed away peacefully at the age of 8, Apopo released a heartfelt statement. His amazing sense of smell allowed communities in Cambodia to live, work, and play without fear of losing life or limb. Not bad for a creature most people try to chase out of their kitchen. How do you teach a rat to be a hero? Training a HeroRAT is part science, part patience, and a whole lot of bananas. At the Apopo Training Center, young rats learn to recognize the smell of TNT, the chemical found in landmines. Each time they find it, they scratch the ground and receive a treat, usually a piece of banana or peanut butter. This is called positive reinforcement, and it's how the trainers turn these curious creatures into life-saving experts. Before being deployed to the field, each rat must pass a final exam. Picture this: a 400 square meter test field sprinkled with hidden dummy mines. Only those that find every single one graduate and earn their title of HeroRAT. Once certified, they are sent to real minefields in Cambodia, Angola, or Mozambique, working with human deminers from sunrise to lunch. Because even heroes need nap time. And here's the best part: no accidents have ever been reported. The rats are too light to set off the mines, and they finish their work about 4 times faster than humans with metal detectors. While a person might take 4 days to clear an area, a single rat can do it in 1. Who knew whiskers could mean speed and safety? Work with a purpose and a snack. A day in the life of a hero rat is surprisingly organized. First, the rat and its handler enter the field, wearing protective gear. The rat is attached to a light harness and line that guides it through a grid pattern. With its long whiskers twitching, it sniffs the air, pausing whenever it detects the faint scent of explosives. Then, with a few quick scratches of its tiny paws, it signals the spot. The human marks the location. And later, bomb disposal experts safely remove the mine. After a successful session, the rat gets praise, a click from the trainer's clicker. And, of course, a reward. You can almost hear them thinking, find mine, get banana. Life is good. And they don't just save lives from explosives. The same training techniques are now used to teach these rats to sniff out tuberculosis bacteria in medical samples, where they act as a rapid second-line diagnostic tool, quickly identifying cases that traditional lab tests have missed. In other words, these rats aren't just heroes in the field, they're helping in hospitals too. The global impact. Since the program began, Apopo's HeroRATs have cleared millions of square meters of land, making it safe for thousands of families to farm, walk, and rebuild their lives. They've also helped detect tens of thousands of missed tuberculosis cases, proving that small creatures can create enormous change. Each scratch of a paw means one less danger underfoot, one more child free to play, one more farmer free to plant a field. A funny kind of fame. HeroRATs have fans all over the world. Some even have their own social media pages. Children send them drawings, and journalists write about them, as if they were celebrity detectives. Apopo once joked that their rats are faster than Sherlock Holmes, and smaller than Scooby-Doo. In Cambodia, villagers often name fields after the rats who cleared them. Magawa's field or Alvia's garden are real places, where people now plant crops and build homes safely again. Imagine that. A rat so famous that it has land named after it. Lessons from the little ones. So, what can we learn from these banana-powered heroes? First, that courage doesn't depend on size. Magawa, Ronin, and their fellow HeroRATs weigh less than a house cat, but carry more responsibility than many humans ever will. Second, that intelligence comes in all shapes and species. With the right training and trust, even an animal most people overlook can make the world safer. Finally, and maybe most importantly, they remind us to look beyond appearances. The next time you see a rat dart across a street, remember, somewhere out there, one of its cousins might be saving a child's life in Cambodia. Conclusion: The Whiskered Wonder Workers. In the grand story of animal heroes, the African giant pouched rat deserves a chapter of its own. They don't wear capes, they don't roar or fly, but they do use their incredible noses to find deadly explosives, one sniff at a time. And their heroism is still expanding. Apopo is now training the newest generation of HeroRATs to sniff out illegally trafficked wildlife products, adding conservation to their life-saving mission. So, while some of us still jump at the sight of a tail, maybe we should also tip our hats. Because these humble, humorous, hard-working rats prove that heroism can come in the smallest and furriest packages.
It's time to study new words in context. 1. Sneaky. Definition: acting in a secret or sly way to avoid being noticed or caught. Example: the sneaky cat waited behind the sofa before jumping on the bird. 2. Scurrying. Definition: moving quickly and with short, hurried steps, often because of fear or excitement. Example: the mice were scurrying across the kitchen floor as soon as the light came on. 3. Pouched. Definition: having a natural pocket or pouch in the body, used to carry food or young. Example: the pouched rat stores bits of banana in its cheeks while working. 4. Nuisance. Definition: a person, thing, or situation that causes annoyance or inconvenience. Example: the buzzing mosquito was such a nuisance that nobody could sleep. 5. Deadlier. Definition: more dangerous or capable of causing death than something else. Example: this new disease is even deadlier than the one that spread last year. 6. Rodent. Definition: a small mammal with sharp front teeth used for gnawing, such as a rat, mouse, or squirrel. Example: the scientist studied how each rodent reacted to the new food in its cage. 7. To put that into perspective. Definition: a phrase used to help people understand the size, importance, or meaning of something by comparing it to something else. Example: the rat cleared 141,000 square meters of land. To put that into perspective, that's about 20 football fields. 8. Unfazed. Definition: not worried, upset, or shocked by something that might disturb others. Example: the little boy remained unfazed by the loud thunder outside. 9. Positive reinforcement. Definition: a method of encouraging good behavior by giving a reward when the correct action is performed. Example: teachers often use positive reinforcement by praising students who do their homework on time. 10. A grid pattern. Definition: a design made up of straight, crossing lines that form squares or rectangles, often used for organization or mapping. Example: the minefield was divided into a grid pattern, so the rats could search each area carefully. 11. Tuberculosis. Definition: a serious infectious disease that mainly affects the lungs and can cause coughing, fever, and weakness. Example: the hospital uses special tests to detect tuberculosis in its early stages. 12. Dart verb. Definition: to move suddenly and quickly in a particular direction. Example: the rabbit darted into the bushes when it heard footsteps nearby. 13. Furriest. Definition: having the most fur, covered thickly with soft hair. Example: of all the kittens, the furriest one looked like a tiny ball of fluff.
Comprehension questions. 1. What are HeroRATs and who trains them? Answer: HeroRATs are specially trained African giant-pouched rats that detect landmines and diseases. They are trained by a Belgian non-profit organization called Apolpo. 2. Why are landmines such a serious problem in countries like Cambodia and Mozambique? Answer: landmines are leftover explosives from wars. They remain buried for decades and can explode when stepped on, making farming, building, and daily life extremely dangerous. 3. What special physical trait makes the African giant pouched rat perfect for mine detection? Answer: the rats are lightweight, around 1 to 1.4 kilograms, so they can walk over landmines without triggering them. Their exceptional sense of smell also helps them detect explosives. 4. Who is Magawa and why is he famous? Answer: Magawa was a hero rat who detected over 100 landmines and explosives, clearing more than 141,000 square meters of land. He became the first rat to receive the PDSA Gold Medal, often called the George Cross for animals. 5. How did Magawa's achievements change people's view of rats? Answer: Magawa showed that rats could be intelligent, gentle, and life-saving animals, not just pests. His work changed public perception, proving even small creatures can be heroes. 6. Who continued Magawa's work after his retirement and death? Answer: another hero rat named Ronin continued the mission and surpassed Magawa's record, finding 109 landmines and 15 additional explosive devices. 7. How do trainers teach rats to find landmines safely? Answer: trainers use positive reinforcement, rewarding rats with food, like bananas whenever they correctly detect the smell of TNT. They learn to scratch the ground to signal a mine's location. 8. What must every rat do before working in a real minefield? Answer: each rat must pass a final exam by finding all the dummy mines hidden in a 400 square meter test field. Only those that succeed are certified as hero rats. 9. How much faster can rats clear a field compared to humans with metal detectors? Answer: rats can clear a field about 4 times faster. What takes a person 4 days can often be done by a rat in just 1 day. 10. What role do hero rats play in fighting tuberculosis TB? Answer, they act as a second-line diagnostic tool, retesting medical samples that clinics have labeled negative. They often find TB cases that traditional lab tests missed. 11. How do HeroRATs help local communities once a minefield is cleared? Answer, cleared land becomes safe for farming, housing, and play. Families can return to their land, plant crops, and rebuild their lives without fear of hidden mines. 12. How have people in Cambodia honored these rats? Answer, villagers sometimes name fields or gardens after the rats who cleared them, such as Magawa's field or Alvia's garden. 13. What new area of work is Apopo training HeroRATs for? Answer, Apopo is now teaching HeroRATs to detect illegally trafficked wildlife products, such as pangolin scales, helping fight wildlife crime and support conservation. 14. What is one reason HeroRATs are considered completely safe to use in minefields? Answer, they are too light to detonate landmines and have an unbroken record of 0 accidents during all operations. 15. What lesson does the story of the HeroRATs teach readers? Answer, it teaches that courage and intelligence come in all sizes, that even the smallest, most overlooked creatures can make a huge difference in the world.